Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. We're here today with special guest, Tisha Marie Cain, who's here to share with us her new best-selling book, Successful Women Show Up Differently: 6 Transformational Habits to Help You Win from the Inside Out. So what if the real key to success isn't doing more, but showing up differently? What would you do then? Well, today's guest is here to share with us just that. Tisha Marie Cain is a private counsel, breakthrough mindset coach, clinical hypnotherapist, and multiple #1 best-selling international author and artist who helps people rewire their subconscious, release emotional weight, and transform their relationship with money, power, and self-worth. She works with a wide range of clients, including Fortune 500 executives and visionary leaders, guiding them through deep mindset work, subconscious healing, and unapologetic self-liberation. After surviving domestic abuse and overcoming false charges that nearly cost her 14 years of freedom, she now helps others reclaim theirs with clarity, confidence, and courage. So welcome to the show, Tisha Marie Cain.
Hi, Marianne. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm so delighted we get to have another discussion and about this amazing book. So what even inspired you to write Successful Women Show Up Differently?
Wow, yes. I had been witnessing the silent struggles of high achieving women in my area and throughout my community. And what I was noticing is despite their success, what stemmed from that success was they were feeling overwhelmed, they were feeling disconnected from their true authentic selves within. And I wanted to create a resource that was quick, easy read, that was not only available to them, but that could validate their experiences, but also provide an actionable habit, so to say, to foster alignment and authenticity within their own personal lives. So it was really important for me to write a book that it was quick, easy read, that if they followed the habits that I instructed them to lay out before them for their day, that they would be successful.
Well, I know you to be one of these really top business successful people. And I love how you help women and men really find their own ability to navigate into what is success for them because I mean, we all show up differently. It's such a big deal. In the introduction, you mentioned the silent battles high achieving women face. Can you share what some of those look like?
Yes, I could speak for myself too. And I was writing like I was talking to myself that what I saw with me and with many other high achieving women is they grapple with the pressure to perform perfectly. And so while they're battling within themselves self doubt, imposter syndrome, fear of judgment, I was going through all of that myself. They often felt like isolated, thinking that they must handle everything alone. And these silent battles manifest as mental exhaustion, they manifest as emotional burnout, and a sense of being unfulfilled despite all of their accomplishments.
That's so interesting. So you emphasize that women don't need more hustle. And isn't that the truth? We need alignment. So, why is alignment such a key factor in success?
I believe that alignment is essential because it allows women and men to operate from a place of authenticity rather than obligation. And that's where I was sitting for many, many years. I felt obligated. So when we get aligned with our true values and our purpose, we can make decisions that resonate deeply with who we are, leading to greater fulfillment, leading to greater success. And it shifts the focus from merely doing more to being more. And that's the key, which is so much more transformative from the place of being rather than doing.
I think when people hear about alignment, sometimes they're not quite sure what that really means for them. Is there a simple way of explaining that?
Yeah, just operate with their own authentic voice. Like, what is it that's in their heart that's resonating for them in the now time space? I think a lot of times we get concerned with um, things of the past or events of the future, and we don't remain present. And if they get aligned with, okay, what is their goal? What is their I call it my North Star. So a star has 5 points. And on those 5 points, I label out my North Star, the things that if life gets too busy, I always have something to reach for. So on my 5 points of that North Star, it's health, wealth, travel, impact, and I forgot the fifth one, but um, it's going towards that authentic voice and having a clear direction to move forward. And if they know that, then they can see the path.
What a great exercise that is. And you have so many useful tips and tools in this book, Successful Women Show Up Differently. And I know you use this book for your executive counseling that you do.
Hmm.
I'd like to cover one, and we're not going to go through them all, but your first habit is command the morning. Why are the first 60 minutes of the day so important?
Oh, this first habit, command the morning, radically transformed my life. And let me tell you, that first hour, it sets the tone for the whole entire day. By taking the time for self care in the morning and intention setting. And it's so easy. Like today, I'm going to set out to maybe whatever your goal is. I'm going to walk 5,000 steps today. Um, just do some intention setting. We can cultivate a mindset of empowerment and clarity for the day. And so, in that first 60 minutes of the morning, it's a sacred place where we can reconnect with ourselves before the whole world demands their attention of us. And this will ultimately lead to better decisions and a sense of control throughout the whole entire day. So, command the morning is the first step to showing up differently in your life.
So, to kind of dovetail with that, what does your morning routine look like?
I am a highly successful woman. I'm a highly committed woman. And my morning begins with deep devotion and ritual. It includes things like journaling, prayer, yoga, meditation. I even doodle in the morning. I do more in the morning before most people do all day. This practice that I do, it grounds me. It allows me to connect with my purpose and set my intentions for the day. When I do that, it shapes my leadership by ensuring I approach each day centered and aligned, which radiates into the way that I support others on their journeys for the day. So this morning, I did exactly that. And my day has been so fulfilled that I knew it was because of this morning ritual that I am so devoted to that changed my life that I don't deviate from.
Wow, that is just so beautiful. And because I know top successful people work with you because you help them get over like the finish line or even the start line and how to live a better life.
I do, and the work that I do basically is I just walk them back home. You know, they're hustling for their worth or they're going through self-doubt or fear. And so I begin in the morning by helping them fill up their cup. So by the time they walk out the door, their cup is so full that their community, their friends, their workers, coworkers, colleagues, they get the overflow of what they created in the morning. And it's been pivotal for a lot of the successful people that I work with. And Marianne, it's so simple. It's so simple.
I love how in your book you highlight Proverbs as a powerful practice. How has this habit changed your perspective?
Yeah, after law school, I thought I was going to go to Bible school, and then I decided that 17 years of college was enough and I needed to stop. But what I do is teach people about the word. And interesting enough, Proverbs, they're the verbs of God. They're the actions of God. So these are the scriptures in which, raise a child in the way that he will go, so when he is old, he will not turn from it. Guess how many proverbs there are? Do you know, Marianne?
I don't. I should, but I don't.
There's 31. So today's the 27th. Tomorrow's going to be the 28th. So tomorrow, when I wake up and I do my morning ritual and my morning practice, I'll read Proverbs 28, and that will set the tone for the whole entire day. And it reminds me to seek alignment and discernment in my decisions through scripture, through this practice. I hone in and I focus from a space of that higher wisdom, which empowers me to lead others and lead myself with confidence and with grace and sitting in the word. And it doesn't really even matter what scriptures you're reading from, as long as you pick up the Proverbs and read, just start simple. Read the day that you're on and then go back and read it again the next month. And it's not so much about what the words say. It's how the codes arise out of the scriptures to align your day for your truth.
What a very unique way of looking at that. And I know you help big, top, C-suite leaders shift their perspective using this.
Oh, I do. And they they are connected. I call it Gus, God, universe, and spirit. They're connected to their faith and their religion, and whether they've been out of the church because of the hustle and bustle of the corporate life, that they have kind of lost sight. So what I do is bring them back full circle. We start small, sit in Proverbs, sit in the scripture, and just start there. And then what they'll find is, oh, actually, this was a comment yesterday from a client. He said, "Well, now that I read Proverbs 26, I'm going to go read Matthew 26." So then now he's even diving deeper in, and he feels so connected to himself and spirit that he didn't believe it was that simple.
It's amazing how these shifts in perspectives can really change everything for us.
It is amazing. Just simple, actionable steps help bring you back into alignment where you can show up differently for yourself, for your family, and for your community.
Well, I'd like to talk about the radical mindset reset. And I almost said that wrong.
I know it's a
Woo!
mouthful.
I know this is your very powerful leadership 9-day protocol. Can you explain a little bit about it and how it works and why it's so effective?
Absolutely. So the radical mindset reset is something I absolutely love. It's designed to interrupt the negative thought patterns. So basically, to make it simple, it's quantum physics. And I believe that quantum physics is very simple, but some people don't. But it's designed to interrupt that negative thought patterns and replace them with more empowering truths. So by the time you use the protocol, it's scheduled reminders that check in with your thoughts. And then we become more aware of that mental narratives that are playing out in your brain. And this protocol, it fosters profound shifts, allowing for everyone, men, women, to reclaim their peace and align their thoughts with their true potential. So we just do that pattern interrupt with this radical mindset reset, and it works every time, guaranteed.
Well, they have that whole saying, change your thoughts, change your life.
Oh, they do. I'm a firm believer in that. I think a lot of it is mindset.
Well, you can't have negative thoughts and get to a really positive outcome, which kind of has me thinking of this question for you. I know that there are probably some examples you can share with us with these negative loops that people, even top leaders, repeat and they get stuck in. So, how, first of all, can they identify those and start replacing them with life changing words?
Yeah, they can identify. It's like I just ask myself or ask yourself the good quality questions. What are the stories playing out in your head? What are those negative loops that you keep circling around in your head? Like I'm not good enough, or I should be further along working with these C-suite executives. They're constantly on the grind. I should be, and they should all over themselves. And so I help them replace these with empowering affirmations that reflect their true potential. Like, I'm good enough. I've made it. I'm doing the best I can with what I have right now. I'm right where I need to be. And speaking these truths, speaking these out as an audible sound, constantly helps rewire their mindset.
It seems it's so simple, but it seems like it would be something more complex. Do you get that often where people are like, well, there's supposed to be more to that because, man, these negative loops are so hard.
Yes, and I do. That's exactly what they say is like, Tisha, this can't be this simple. I'm like, it really is. But, you know, healing is in the doing. So if you're wanting to get out of these closed loops, then we need to first bring them up, be aware of them, do the pattern interrupt, and then change the way that we think about them by speaking into existence what exactly we want. It's that
Mm.
simple.
Mm. That's just amazing. Well, and I know that you really help people get there because a lot of times we can't see what's going on or what's keeping us stuck because we're kind
Right.
of, yeah, it's like the forest from the trees kind of thing.
It really is. And, I say you can't see the picture when you're in the frame, right? So they say, Tisha just seems so easy. And how could that possibly work? And I'm like, well, why don't you um, put this into practice this week? And then let's talk next week and see how it's helped you. And then they come back. And 95% of the time, if they've done the work, they're already feeling so much better because they are speaking into existence a positive statement versus, the ones that they had been looping on in the past.
I know that you also write on clarity, which is something I think a lot of people struggle to find at different places or times in their life or in their career. So you say that it doesn't come from thinking, but from movement. Can you share on that for us?
Absolutely. So I once hesitated on launching a new coaching program because I was like, okay, am I going to get butts and seats? Are they going to want to be here? And so I was waiting for that perfect moment. And when I finally decided to just take the action, just take radical, messy action, even with my fears, I gained the clarity about my audience needs and how best to serve them. That leap of faith opened up doors that I hadn't anticipated, and it fueled my growth.
Well, that's just remarkable how that all came together. Do you feel like people want to wait a lot of times and procrastinate because they feel like, oh, I got to wait until I feel ready before I start moving forward?
Yeah, the common denominator that I've been seeing lately is people are just not taking the action because I think we're in the over information age. They have so many selections and so many possibilities. And me at my stage in my life, I check for the easy button. If you give me five different options, I'll ask which one's the easiest, and then I'll start on that. So what I'm finding is they're in these closed loop negative loops and they're not even moving forward with anything. So I just narrow the field for them and then we go hard at one of those things, show up, take radical, messy action, and then they're far off better than just sitting back and on a hamster wheel, so to speak, in their brain. If they just take one small action towards their goals, they're better off.
So, how do you help women balance ambition with reaching very high levels of success while also cultivating inner peace, especially in fast paced environments?
I guide women to integrate practices that cultivate their inner peace, such as mindfulness, intentional decision making. I did a Wisdom of the Trees Oracle card. And you can just pull those Oracle cards out and be very mindful with your command the morning practice. And by aligning their actions with their core values, they can pursue ambitious goals while maintaining that sense of peace and purpose in high leveled pressured situations. But they got to first cultivate that inner peace within, follow my 6 habits, and do it like it's a ritual or it's a religion or it's a devotion. And if they do it, that's why the book is silly cheap right now. And so I tell people, buy the book and act like you invested $1,000 and do the habits like you invested that $1,000, and it will radically change your life.
Well, you definitely speak from experience that way. Your clients say that over and over again, which I'm always just not just amazed, but just, I'm cheering you on and I find it to be so empowering. And
Thank
one,
you.
yeah, my goodness. I mean, I love hearing your success stories. You've got some really good ones.
I have some great ones, which is great. And it's great because I celebrate with them. I share in their win because I'm just coaching them along, showing them, like you said, the forest through the trees. And I'm like, it's here, it's so simple, but they can't see it. So I just hold their hand until they could guide themselves on their own.
So your book and work is so empowering, and I love how it does this combination of scripture and neuroscience and strategic high-level coaching. How do these three areas work together for profound and lasting transformation?
Mm. Yeah, it creates a holistic approach. The synergy of scripture, the neuroscience, that strategic coaching that I offer, that holistic approach is transformational. Scripture, it provides timeless wisdom. We can always fall back to scripture. Neuroscience informs us about our mental processes. So it's important because all of these things are backed by science. And once we understand how the brain works, we can work with the brain to get everything out of this life that we want. And then my coaching offers actionable strategies. And I come from corporate America. I love frameworks and Marianne, I have spreadsheets for my spreadsheets. I love strategies and actionable steps so I can check things off my list because I move quickly. So I teach them to rewire their mindset and lead with clarity and confidence with this holistic approach.
I love how you say that you're a closed loop girl, that you get projects started and done successfully. And I think it's a lot of times people have a problem with closing that loop.
I absolutely would agree with you. I would probably venture to say 75% of people. Now you're making me want to go and really do the scientific study on this, but I would venture to guess 75% of the people don't close loops. And I love it. I love, okay, let's just close that, action that off and move on because what I find is that they're stuck on problem number one and they can't see through it. And so then they don't ever move. Whereas if you just take action and move forward on something, you're going to get further than if you do nothing.
I love how you have designed this book to be more than just reading. It's an experience, which includes trackers and prompts, of course, because you love all
Hmm.
that stuff. So,
Mm.
why was it
Hmm.
why was it so important for you to make this book so interactive?
I learned this in law school when the professor was teaching us about, say, torts. I would listen to him about negligent torts. And the moment that I took pen to paper and I wrote it down was the moment that I never had to look at my written notes again. And so I know there's tons of research about putting pen to paper And doing those prompts to be interactive with the material that solidifies it in your brain where it becomes common practice. So I created a transformative experience to help people that encourages active engagement rather than just passive reading. This is a 45-minute read, and I want you to be very active in it. And the interactive elements that I've dovetailed in this book allow the readers to reflect and track their process, because I also believe that you can't manage what you don't measure. So we have to track our progress through this and apply what we learn, making the journey toward being more aligned in their life and in business. And it begins to be something very tangible and very personal for them.
I think that's one of the things that really separates your training from so many other people, the courses you do and executive counseling that you do as well, is that you track it. And I know a lot of people will sometimes wonder where they are in their progress. It's nice to have that tracking.
It really is. And I've been recently tracking my clients as we go through to find more of the common denominators that I see as we continue to grow as a society and open up our conscious levels to higher things. That I'm really excited. I've been doing this for 8 years now, and I'm really excited to dump this information into a database to find those common denominators that will allow me to help and serve on deeper levels.
So I know we've touched on this briefly before, but I want to dive into this a little bit. What kind of changes or breakthroughs have your clients experienced after applying your strategic practices that you offer?
Total life transformation. And people say, is it really that simple? It really is. They have breakthroughs in their confidence, in their clarity, in their overall fulfillment in life. Working with the C-suite executives, these are the guys who, have already earned their Rolex watch and their leather penny loafers, and they've already made tons of money, but at the end of the day, they're still feeling unfulfilled. So many have shifted from feeling overwhelmed at work and feeling fatigued to feeling more empowered, and they're making decisions and they're taking actions that are aligned with their soul goals, per se, their true selves, leading to greater satisfaction overall in both of their professional lives and their personal lives. So I love mapping this across. This is a holistic approach mapped from personal to business and just an overall sense of fulfillment. And wow, it fills my heart every day when I see the breakthroughs and someone comes back and says, Tisha, in that one conversation, you transformed my life with just what would you say, like a mind shift or just a shift out of the way that they had been operating in the past. And this is where transformation happens, is if they action this out and create a ritual and a devotion, it's going to change their life.
That's just so profound. I just love the work that you do. And if someone's ready to make their own profound changes in their lives and they're like, hey, I'm looking to reach these high levels of success and I need someone to guide me there, what do you recommend they start with?
I recommend starting with that first step in my book. The first step is command that morning. Create a habit, prioritizing intentionality for the day. Start each day with intentional thoughts, laying a foundation for what you want this life to look like. That has really been the foundation. Nobody gets me before I get me. And what do I want my day to look like? What alignment do I want to come through? What clarity do I want to go through? What do I want to see for the day? How do I want to set my day up for success? And then if they want to dive deeper with me they can definitely visit my website and connect with me. But this book will radically transform their life if they take the next step to command their morning. If they command their morning and take the next step to be more aligned with their goals, and they want to reach out to me, I specialize in rewiring the subconscious mind. So if we have these negative loops running, I just do a pattern interrupt with clinical hypnotherapy, and we go in, rewire the subconscious mind, and every session has been profound. Every session, people have felt major change. So command the morning, take the first step. And then after you do that, if you're needing more guidance, please reach out to me because I love to rewire the subconscious mind.
And Tisha, what's the website they can go to?
Thank you. I could be found at Tisha Marie Cain, Cain, tishamariecain.com. You can schedule a private appointment with me, and we can begin to help you feel more fulfilled in this life. We can transform you out of the life that you're leading into a more empowered life. So if you want to work directly with me one-on-one, I'd love to invite you in and be able to guide you to get exactly out of this life what you're calling in for you.
Well, Tisha Marie, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Thank you, Marianne.
Make sure to visit Tisha Marie's website at tishamariecain.com and start your transformation today. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary. A recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.